The core Elite Eight this week. We're going to break them down individually. Chat It Up Sports Rivalry Week Elite Eight is what we're going to call this, I guess. We're starting Georgia Tech, fellers. This means a lot to one man in the studio behind the glass over there, Joseph Guthrie.
Dogs by 90.
Dogs by 90. Good for you. I don't think Georgia Tech has anything to play for except for just a glimmer of hope and rivalry hate. Malcolm Harris joining us from the furthest satellite office of Chat It Up Sports.
Oh, easily. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Coming to you from Florida, brother.
And our furthest west, Greg Larnard satellite office.
Yeah, well, we're in Wilmington, North Carolina this week.
Oh, that's right. You're on the East Coast now. I'm
on the East Coast. Yeah,
that's right. I forgot you already went home. You guys are already down to see the parentals. It's wonderful. Thanksgiving week, boys. I'm excited. We were just talking about it earlier. We'll get to this just for a quick second. Awesome week of college basketball, if you guys don't know. So tune in to just the new player era tournament. Holy shnikes, $1 million on the line. It's going to be fun. So that's all I want to say about that because it's just too much college basketball. It's just too much going on this week. Georgia Tech. Do we want to save Joseph for last or let him go first?
I say you bring your best dog out first.
I always try to let him go first. He never wants to go first when talking about Georgia.
I don't.
All right, quick pitch.
Okay. I'll go first. Listen, man. This game really scared
realm
me.
Of the unknown.
Yes, from the Stranger Things season 5, the upside down.
Don't let that Demogorgon get behind you, dog.
Yeah, I need.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, guys. I just had to.
Dang.
Anyways,
damn electrical powers.
Dude, it's just when you got it, you got it. Like Static Shock, dude. Just
there you go.
And we're out.
Oh, and now we're done.
Magic.
Anyways, so this game scared me for like a majority of the year because of how close last year's game was. And I thought, okay, Georgia Tech's only going to get better. I don't know how good Georgia's going to be. And then early on in the year, Georgia Tech just looked great. I think part of that was also due to the fact that the ACC is, I'll be nice, down this year. They're pretty down this year, okay? And it feels like watching these two teams, one's doing this and the other one's doing this. And we talked about it before on last Thursday's show, Chase, about how we kind of feel like Georgia Tech, if they come out and did what they did against Pitt, which was rough, giving up 28 in the first quarter, it kind of feels like they're out of gas. I think they're out of gas. Mm-hmm. They'll have some stuff for this game because it's a rivalry game, but Drew, you want to hop on an IT stat for me? I think Georgia Tech's given up like roughly 1,300 yards in their past 3 games total between Boston College, Pitt, and NC State.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's something
optional.
Yeah, defense optional, 100%. I don't know if that's something you want going into a game against Georgia where it feels like their offense has only gotten hotter the longer the year's gone on. Noah Thomas has kind of stepped up with Colby Young being out. Chauncey Bowens didn't play last week, so I know he's probably not going to be 100%, but they kept him out last week. So he'll probably come back. Nate Frazier's looked better this year than he has last year. That offensive line has kind of gelled the way that they've, mixed and matched some players. And then Gunner's just improved as the season's gone on. The defense also, I know it's kind of tough because you're playing a weird offense. You're playing the style of offense that Georgia Tech wants to play. How many yards was it roughly?
Yeah, so I can't do this math in my head.
No, it's fine. You can just give them individually.
Yeah, don't have a master's degree yet.
NC State was like over 400.
Yeah,
I think Pitt was over 400.
NC State's at 583.
Oh,
yeah. So there's a third of it right there.
Wow.
Yeah, 583 for NC State, 537 for Boston College.
Okay,
and then the Pitt Panthers, who they actually lost to by more points than anybody else, actually had the most conservative yards total, 413. So add that all up, you're sitting at about
close to 1,500.
Roughly 1,500. Yeah. We'll just round it off 15. So you get 1,500 yards in your past 3 games.
Yeah. It's not a math podcast.
No, it's not. We're not doing algebra. But I can tell you what, that's not good. That's not something you want to be happy about. And I'm sure Brent Key will address it, but I mean, at the same time, man, if you're giving up points the way you're giving up points as Georgia Tech is, going into playing Georgia, who has ascended throughout the season, the defense has gotten better, offense has gotten better, plus they've played Tech every year. So it's not like one of these random off schools that plays Georgia Tech where it's like, hey, we got we got to prepare for this. We're not used to seeing it. Kirby and that staff have seen it before. And that's not saying that Buster Faulkner won't have something special. That's not saying that Buster Faulkner won't pull out all the stops to try to beat Georgia. They're playing for a playoff spot. Georgia Tech's playing for their playoff lives. Like, this is do or die for them. Georgia's still in if they lose this game, more than likely. But if Georgia Tech doesn't, bye. So you're going to play in like probably maybe a New Year's Six bowl if you're 10-2.
Probably will.
Or well, I guess they'd be 9-3. Sorry, 9-3.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
They would be.
Just depends on how the rest of the field would play
They
out.
wouldn't
But
because one of the
they'd probably
Virginia.
nod the loser of the ACC title game.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they'd probably get bounced from the playoff, and they'd get the New Year's Six nod. Again, we don't know who that's going to be because everybody in that conference is still alive, not literally.
I can't believe it. I was looking at the ACC scenario today. Virginia and SMU just have to win, and they're in. That's your ACC championship.
I feel like just have to win and you're in this conference the way it's been this year feels like climbing a mountain because it's like it's this easy. You should just have to do it, Miami, and
that's it.
Like
Miami's far and away the best team in this conference.
Should be,
and
should be. Yeah,
they're not. They I don't think they can make it.
Dude. I don't want to tell you no because
both Virginia and SMU have to lose. Sorry,
so it's still possible.
Yeah, because they'd have to beat Pitt. Yeah, so it is possible. Sorry, there is a way.
Yeah. So, anyways,
yeah.
But they're the highest ranked team in that conference. No.
Yeah.
What the hell,
dude? And if all three of those lose, I still think Duke can make it.
They still can. Yeah, they flashed that graphic up during the Pittsburgh Georgia Tech game. They can make it.
Listen, just for
give me some chaos,
comedic purposes, man. I need Duke to win the ACC. Like, I just need it because, like, I just want to see how people react to the field when the ACC gets left out of the playoff because Duke won the conference and they're getting jumped by JMU and insert winner of the American.
Yeah, because the ACC could not make it.
Yeah, the ACC, because in the language for the playoffs, it is the 5 highest ranked conference champions, not just the Power Fours and the highest ranked G5 or G6. So I just want to see people's reaction if the ACC got bumped. So I wonder how fast we'd be like, okay, we listen, guys, we just got to go to the top 12. Like, no more.
Immediately that would happen.
Yeah, especially if Miami's like number 12. They finished 12 and they're the first team out.
Yep.
They get bumped for like JMU or Tulane.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no way. No way.
It's possible.
I know, that's crazy though. That could actually happen.
Real stuff.
Yeah.
It could.
Yeah, it would be. Twitter'd be incredible that day.
Well, speaking of conference champions, Georgia still has an opportunity to play for the SEC championship. So, like, there's something for them to play for. Like you mentioned, like they don't need to win this game for them to get into the playoff. And I get that's ultimately what you want and what you're trying to do in the long-term goal. You're just trying to get into the playoff. But there's a lot of pride for playing for a conference championship. So, like, if they win and A&M or Auburn or Alabama loses, they have a chance to get in there. So, to me, there's a lot on the line for Georgia. Mercedes-Benz is going to be rocking this weekend, or on Friday, I should say, against Georgia Tech. So, look, Haynes King is awesome, but as you guys were just detailing, that defense, not much to write home about. Gunnar Stockton and company should be able to take care of business in what could essentially be, I understand it's closer to Georgia Tech, but sort of more of a home game for Georgia than Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if y'all saw it. So did y'all see in the, I think it was late in the game, they showed like Haynes on the bench and he was just kind of sitting there just like ghost face. Because I guess reality had set in that they weren't going to make the ACC title game. And I was
that's your fault, Joseph.
Listen, man, all I'm going to say is when you're relying on Haynes King to throw the ball, you're kind of rolling the dice there, dude.
That shit was funny though. It was like the timing of the whole text was so funny.
Yeah. Like I literally for context for anybody listening, I had just texted the boys, I think it was 14 to 28 at the time, and Tech was on like the 3 or 4 yard line going in. And I was like, boys, this is it. This is how it happens. It's going to be Pitt. They're going to collapse. Georgia Tech's going to come back. And then Haynes King, like as soon as I sent the text, Haynes King threw the pick 6.
No, I said, no, hey, I see what you're trying to do with your reverse psychology.
Oh, wait, yeah.
And then it happened.
Yeah.
And then it happened.
Yeah. And I was like, I started reeling real quick. I was like, hang on now. Wait a second. But yeah, no, anyways, like that's a good point, Greg. Georgia, and I think it's just a testament to Kirby, whether they were going to the SEC title game or not, they want to win this game because it's Tech. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
Kirby does not want to lose to Tech. So I think he's
only lost to him once in his tenure, and it was the first year he was there, I think, in 2016?
2016, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think you'll see a great shot from Georgia also because, again, I'm gonna still play out this scenario because I'm not gonna let it die until I see it die. Like if Georgia comes out and doesn't play well against Tech, but they still win and they're sitting there 11-1, and then you have this, they don't make the SEC title game because A&M and Alabama both win. What are you going to do with Alabama if they win the SEC title game? And what are you going to do with A&M? I'm still curious to see. So like, does Georgia get bumped? Do they not? I still think that scenario is in play. I know we posted that to TikTok and we talked about it. A lot of people in the comments said that they don't think Alabama would jump that high. They wouldn't. That being said, I think it helps Georgia if you win this game by a lot. So
yes,
yeah,
it needs to,
and they should.
Yes.
13.5 point favorite.
12.5.
I was just gonna ask.
Wait, is it 13.5?
It's 13.5.
Oh yeah.
This is per ESPN. So
as it sits on a Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
going to start to get closer, I think.
Probably.
You think it'll get bet down?
Mm-hmm. I think it's 12.5.
Nah, I think that goes up to like a line of 14.5. I mean, I think that Georgia, I don't know, they're playing their best football right now. I think they're playing complete football. And then to y'all's point, I mean, Georgia Tech just is they're out of gas. That's it. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna think about picking Georgia Tech just because I saw last year's game, bruh. And like they were clearly outmanned, outmatched. And like they took those boys to the absolute brink. And I think, I'm not saying that they looked ahead versus Pitt, but they probably did because this game means so much and they remember last year. It's my thoughts too.
But that game in the grand scheme of things of their conference probably meant more, no?
Yeah, but it definitely did. But also it's like that game really means nothing in comparison to beating Georgia. I just
what does Georgia? What does beating Georgia mean? It doesn't mean anything for getting to an ACC title game.
Well, hang on now, dude. This is clean old fashioned hate, dog.
Yeah,
this means everything. You don't lose.
Everything.
You don't lose to Tech.
I'd rather get to a conference championship game and lose to Georgia.
That's rational.
Ask
thinking.
Ohio State fans.
That's rational thinking. This is college football. It is not supposed to be rational, brother.
You don't lose to Tech, dog. You don't you don't miss the opportunity to hold up the whiteboard that says we run this state at the end of the game. Like no.
Well, don't forget about Georgia State and Georgia Southern.
Brother, listen. I know early on in the season, Drew and I had this conversation with you about Maction, and it gets into your blood, and it does. But like, come on, man, it's between Georgia and Georgia, especially when both teams are as good as they are this year. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like to McGee's point before of like, like the way that they played them last year with the 8 overtimes. Like I can literally remember sitting in my living room here at this house in North Carolina, and I think I jumped on like TikTok live because I was like, this shit is crazy. Like 8 overtimes, Georgia withstands Georgia Tech and the whole thing. And at that point, they kind of, and I get it, it's a rivalry thing. You don't want to lose to Georgia Tech, the whole thing, but I think they may have snuck up on them a little bit last year. I don't think they're taking Georgia Tech lightly or for granted this year or this time around, as good of a season as they've had.
No doubt.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
No doubt.
So you go ahead, Mickey, you pick Georgia Tech. That's fine.
No, I'm not going to do it. But, man, I want to win our core. Chase, what did you say to enter the show, dog? Core Elite 8? What did you say?
Yeah, Core Elite 8, baby. Yeah, it's a robbery week, Elite 8.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, second helping.
I want to win, man. So now I'm give me the Dogs, but yeah.
See, if I had known that we were going to do a double rivalry week, core 4, I definitely would not have thrown all my chips in on the underdogs in week 13.
It's funny, Drew, because all of our girls like now are invested in the picks that we make every week, the players.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, why can't your picks are getting boring? Why can't you be like Drew, who picks all these upsets and stuff like that? I was like, because Drew's at the bottom of the barrel.
Drew's got to start swinging, dude.
Yeah.
Drew pushed all the chips to the middle a week early, it seems.
Yeah.
So I question for you boys, because it seems like everybody's here on Georgia.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, let's entertain it. If Tech wins this game, how do they do it? What's the strategy here?
It really is.
It's got to be a lot of Haynes King, no?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, in my opinion, it's got to be ball possession. Yeah, you force Georgia to have a couple of 3 and outs, and you hold it. It's kind of like what they were doing last year. Like Georgia didn't get the ball as much. That's part of playing Georgia Tech and playing this offense, though. And I think that's your same strategy going in. I know, obviously, the strategy every game is you have the ball more, you score more points, you win the game. But
yeah,
I think with as hot as Georgia's offense has been, yeah, you've got to don't give them a chance to get in a rhythm. Like if you're Tech, if you start early, get Georgia back in this phase where they were, early on in the season where they weren't starting until the second half, and then kind of go from there and just limit the possessions. I think that's how you make this happen. Because giving up 1,400, 1,500 yards your past 3 games, I mean, is trending down fast.
See, what's funny is I kind of see it the opposite way. I think this is like, just knowing what Georgia Tech is, like you almost have to outscore them, but you just can't miss. Like you just have to be.
Oh yeah,
this has to be Superman Haynes King. Look, I mean, I know we talk about Haynes like not throwing the football, but the guy is, he's got like a 70+% completion percentage, and he's had a couple games over 300, 350. Like the guy's had 5 good games straight against ACC opponents. Don't get me wrong, but like this just has to be a perfect offensive game for Georgia Tech because they can't play defense, and I believe in this Georgia Tech or this Georgia offense. So they're just not going to be able to stop them. It's just like, hey, we just got lucky on a pick one time against Stockton or something, or a weird fumble, punt return drop. Something has to happen. Like it has to be just like a perfect offensive game because they're not going to be able to stop them. Georgia's just too good offensively. It would just have to be, you have to score on all 7 or 8 of your possessions. It has to be like wild.
Mike Bobo can always Mike Bobo. And we know this. True or false?
Joseph, please answer.
Brother, listen, this is not a good year to ask me about Mike Bobo, because the moment he pulled out the fake fullback dive to convert a first down against Texas, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything else negative about this man the rest of the year, dude. Like that was just such a wizardry on a play. I mean, I'll tell you this much, Malcolm, to play from that angle, not necessarily Bobo, but I don't think we've seen Gunner just have a catastrophic game yet.
Mm-mm.
Not saying he will, but I'm not saying he can't. Like I think that's one thing that kind of like some of these other first year starting quarterbacks we had, like specifically like Ty Simpson against Oklahoma. Again, by no means am I comparing Georgia Tech's defense to Oklahoma's. Hear me again. I am not comparing Georgia Tech's defense
heavy
to Oklahoma's.
precedent there. Yeah.
That is a massive. We're talking about different leagues here. Okay, different leagues of defenses here. But I'm just saying, we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen a game where Gunner just doesn't have it. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it could. And I think if it does, it kind of leads into another, like you said, Chase, they take advantage of all their opportunities. That could be how Tech ends up winning this game.
Well, there's also a big injury that Georgia's dealing with too, with the linebacker CJ Allen. I don't know if he's going to play for this game.
Yes, CJ's out, maybe out.
It's not looking good. So if you take advantage of some of the backup linebackers that are going to have to play, or the guys that are going to have to step up and try to replace him, that could be another avenue to victory for Haynes King if you take advantage of that matchup.
Yeah, because you're also like, you're not just losing. CJ's your best linebacker, but he's also, he's your defensive quarterback.
Yeah,
like he's your coach to player guy. So and yeah, they looked good against Texas when he went out and they passed it to oh gosh, his name's number 5. His name's left me, but it's not the same as starting from the game knowing hey, you're the quarterback on the defense. You're calling the defense. You got to get everybody lined up. And he'll have help, but it's still not the same knowing that going into the game. So Raylan Wilson, sorry,
there you go.
I don't know why I was I hardly ever blank on Georgia players, but yeah, when Raylan Wilson came in and took over the coach to player, they still looked good against Texas, and he's a more veteran guy. He's not quite as veteran as CJ, but that's still a factor. It's still different going into the game knowing hey, it's on me from the start.
And it looks like center Drew Bobo is probably going to play in this game too. Just kind of a couple little injury updates. And Georgia ranks 5th nationally against the run, so they've been good against the run, whether they have CJ Allen or not in this game. So we're kind of talking about, it would seem to be sort of a perfect storm and kind of a blow up game from Gunnar Stockton.
It would have to be. It would have to be kind of. Yeah, Georgia would have to lose it almost. If that makes
just kind
sense.
of implode, throw up all over themselves. Then you just don't really see that from a Kirby Smart led team.
No.
Yeah, I also. Oh, go ahead, Malcolm.
No. I was just agreeing.
I think also, while we do talk about Gunnar having a bad game, I think this is the wrong team to pick for him because it feels like they're just going to kind of do what they did against Mississippi State and just turn and hand the ball off. And it's hey, Tech, can you, we're going to get 6 yards of carry until we don't.
Yep. The answer is no.
Yeah.
The answer is no. If Boston College can do it, Georgia can do it.
Yeah.
All right. So all 4 Georgias cleaning house. Probably bet Georgia Tech if I were you now.
At least the spread.
Yeah, at least the spread on this one, because if all 4 were picking, it's usually a sign of uh-oh. But I kind of believe in this one. So Georgia Tech, unfortunately, does not get the technical home game. I know we talked about it, but it's dude, that kind of sucks. I get why they do it. But.
It sucks. You're doing it for money. You got to.
Dollar bills, y'all. All right, on to the next game. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but we're going to do it. Love yous. We out.